Cool, that's all working. Right, there we go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We are here for the third to last round of Revolution F1 Formula 2. This is round number 8, races number 15 and 16 here at the one of the worst tracks on the planet, COTA. Obviously, the only thing worse than this track is Sochi. But yeah, we only have the one race, or the 2 races this weekend, and then 2 weeks left, and we'll be pretty much bang on the new game release by the time we're finished, or a week. I think it's literally we finish the week of, or the because for the early access it comes out on the 15th. I think we finish on the 13th of July for this championship, so literally 2 days before F1 2021 is released, and then all the drivers will be getting used to the game for about a month, I'd imagine, before the more competitive racing starts. So just be everyone grinding out career mode, grinding out time trial, stuff like that, getting used to the game, and whatever else not. But we only have 8 drivers today. It's kind of understandable, to be fair, with the game being at the end of its life cycle. We are going to start seeing less and less, just as long as neither of the last 2 races get cancelled, because well, Mexico is not that good of a track, but Brazil is a really good track, especially for racing. So it would be quite a bad thing to see that cancelled, but I've still got faith. There's still going to be a good turnout for the last 2 races, hopefully, but we'll have to wait and see. But the main focus is COTA in this qualifying session. Only 3 minutes into this 30-minute qualifying. We're on board with RF1 Warhead, who this is home Grand Prix of the United States. Bit of a wiggle out of the last corner there, getting on power. But up into turn 1, braking just after the curb starts, turning in, hits the apex nicely, powering out, and then coming around through turn 2 is a slight lift, so it's not quite flat yet. And a massive lift through the S section, only now changing down to 4th. Definitely would have changed a bit sooner than that, but 28.9, not too bad of a first sector. And through this tricky section here, this is borderline impossible in cockpit cam because you cannot see where you're going. But all the more rewarding if you do get it right in cockpit cam. We have a spinner, which I believe is Stewart, is the only other car out on track on the wets. Bit of a wiggle there. Out of turn 10 for Warhead. Now turn 11. I wonder if we're going to see, because the game doesn't punish you for cutting the inside of this corner, so I wonder if we're going to see anyone take advantage of that this race weekend. Not quite. It does use an awful lot of the inside curb, but I think he's used pretty much the right amount in my eyes. So pretty solid lap from Warhead so far. Now into this double apex left, into the, I believe it's a triple apex right. A really long turkey turn 8 clone. 2 corners to go now. Doesn't want to run too wide, although you can use a fair bit of that AstroTurf. All turns in too early, has to turn out of it. Rear gets away from there at the last corner, but across the line for a 1 minute 48.1. Flap on the board. We have Stewart, who was invalidated on his wet tyres, so I believe we'll have Warhead go again. If not, we'll ride on board with him and just go through a bit of a weekend rundown. So I'll load up the standings. So I don't think anyone is close to having the title wrapped up yet, so I think that will still go quite a far way into this season, because we've still got plenty of time. But here we go, F2. I don't think the standings have actually been updated yet. No, they definitely haven't, so I don't exactly know what's going on with the standings, but... that's, okay, so there goes that plan then. I can't see the standings because they haven't been updated yet, which is a big F, but it's fine. I believe Stewart is still leading them. Oh, that's going to be a spin. Keeps it out of the wall though, just a bit of a trip across the grass for the Prema of Warhead. We do have both Premas this weekend, Nicholas and Warhead. Alfie has stepped in as well, 5 crown. Non-rope Loki, Stewart, Mr. Taddo, the usual suspects that usually always here. And we also have P-Bents, who I believe wasn't here last week. Well, neither was Warhead or Alfie. And then we have Tazonic as well joining us. That does make 9 drivers. But P-Bents is only here for the feature race, and then he'll be leaving after that. So we have 9 drivers, but I do believe it is Stewart leading the way. I'll just be trying to find the standings somehow. And let me have a double check. I'll try and find them, because it might be in their own separate little thing, and I might have just been looking in the wrong place. F2 General. No. So it is the definite results, but yeah, the last results that were actually uploaded was Canada. And we've done a fair few more races since then. But, well, Stewart was leading from Canada, and then Taz and Aaron were tied. So hang on, what races are we missing? The calendar. Singapore didn't go ahead. Okay, so we're only missing last week's. So I believe Stewart still leads, but I don't think... there's no mathematical way he can wrap it up this week, so it'll be going... I'd imagine it'll be going all the way to either the back end of Mexico, or it will be going to the very end at Brazil. Kind of hope it's Brazil. Ooh, that's a spin out of the last corner for Warhead. Hopefully he's just getting all his spins out of him now, so he won't have any in the race. But here's the only driver, as P-Bents has left the session. But only Warhead out on track at the moment, just rubbering in the circuit. I'd imagine he might go again. Oh, that's an invalidation. But I imagine he'll go again later on in the session, but his tyres will be slightly more worn than usual, as he's already done 3 laps, but then plus a few spins. And an out lap as well. So all in all, he's probably taken about 5 laps out of these tyres, and being the super softs, they will not last that long, especially around this track. But maybe that could be a signal of rain to come, so he can use his mediums later on in the session, or his softs later on in the session. I can't exactly remember what the other tyre compound is this weekend. He's run out of fuel. Oh, P-Bents is back. That's good. Minutes through this qualifying session, 20 to go, so we're a third of the way there of these ludicrously long qualifying sessions. Kind of wish, like, for F2, if they did a one-shot quali, that would be really interesting to watch. Obviously, it'd be quite hard to see who gets pole, and I just have to try and ride on board with as many people as possible. But I reckon one-shot quali would be a good viable option maybe next season. Let's see what the admins say. Just because full qualifying is a bit tedious. It's 30 minutes. But I suppose it's technically used pretty much as a practice session for these drivers, just getting used to the track and their cars. As Warhead returns to the pits. We have Tazonic heading out on track now, on the wet tyres. Well, as he's the only car out on track, we'll ride on board with the Charouse, who is here alongside his teammate this week. Absent from Japan, and his teammate got 3rd overall in the weekend. Or was it 2nd? Can't exactly remember. I know it was top 3 of the weekend. No, it was 3rd, because him and Aaron were tied for 3rd. Stuart was 2nd, and Five Crown was 1st. So to be fair, we could be seeing a bit of a late title charge from Five Crown. I think it's down in 5th. Tazonic goes for a spin. Slight glide across the barrier, but nothing too major, I don't think. I think he's going to get away with that. Just about. Just letting the car roll backwards. We also have, I believe it's, Five Crown and Alfie both coming out on track. The red UNI Virtuosi and then the Red Bull Carlin. I do really like this Carlin. Not Carlin, this UNI, sorry. The red one. It's pretty damn nice to look at, but it's only Tazonic at the moment out on a proper flying lap, and we also have these two just coming out of the pits on their wet tyres as well, so no one out on dries yet, saving their dry tyres to the end of the session. But there's only 2 races this weekend left. Next weekend we'll be going to Mexico for the penultimate round, and then the weekend after will be the last weekend at Brazil. I do believe that we either finish a week before the new game or the weekend just before, literally just before games release, because it'll either get released on the Tuesday if you have the deluxe edition or the Friday if you have the standard. Which I don't have either. I do need to get it if I'm going to continue commentary duties. Which should obviously be ideal. So I did quite like the commentary. Just put my phone on charge so I can continue. Hang on. Come on. There we go. Leave that one down there. But we do have P-Vents out on dries, but for some reason Tazonic has gone purple in the first sector on wet tyres. Absolutely unheard of scenes here at USA. About halfway through this qualifying session now. Only one time on the board being Warhead, being the only representative time at the moment until P-Vent sets one, because these other guys are on wet tyres. 119.8 there from Tazonic in the middle sector on his wets. So definitely a long ways from purple now. I'd imagine we're going to be looking at a dry weekend. It's very rare that we're going to get rain on at USA. I don't think I've ever had a league race in the wet around here. And I think, off knowledge, there's only been one real life race that was wet, and that was 2014, where even then it was only intermediate conditions. But I guess the threat of rain is still there, but I wouldn't count on it too much. We have a 2-minute 1.9 is Tazonic's lap time. Alfie is invalidated, so we're riding on board P-Bents, who is also invalidated, but we'll stay on board. Who's that? Oh, that's Dev Bot, although he's now called Bottas. It's finally woken up, so that will be just pinging the Discord saying the stream is now live. You have Lucas in chat. Mr. Tado is on the toilet. Thank you for that. I'm sure Mr. Tado doing his pre-race ritual, by the sounds of it, then, of going to the bathroom in this qualifying session. He's got plenty of time to do so. That's something I kind of wonder, if any of these drivers have like qualifying and pre-race like rituals or things they go and do, whether it just be have a cigarette, have a bite to eat, have a bit of a drink. So I know I eat a chocolate bar before every race, that's my ritual. Either that or something like sweet, like a pack of sweets or a chocolate bar of some kind, or if it's a really long race, I'll have a tub of ice cream, or even something like a pot noodle in the winter. So I remember, I think it's my first race back, which was Austria for D2 last season. I had a pot noodle on the grid, or at the end of qualifying and on the grid, I sat and enjoyed a pot noodle. It was a bit of a pre-race ritual. I don't think I did too well that race, off memory. I think I got like P10 or P11. Can't quite remember. Oh no, it was Britain I was back for this league. It was Austria for a different league. And yeah, Britain I kind of got like 6th. So I did the invert strategy to everyone else and it didn't pay off, because I was on the softs at the very end. But being Britain, the softs are absolutely disgusting, and they just don't work. So if anything, the hard tyres are really viable around Britain. But P-Bent's currently going quickest on the 110.3. Oh, a bit of a rear end twitch though. Keeps it in check. I might still be able to challenge Warhead. Alfie goes second with a 2-minute 0.9. Tazonic has improved to a 2-minute 1.0 on the wet tyres. But P-Bents will be the next driver to set a lap on the dries, coming through the second to last corner now, keeps it within track limits, now braking for the last corner, a little bit of a lock-up, but still gets the car rotated. DRS wide open, it's going to be a 46.1, so even with a bit of a mistake there, he's still gone 2 seconds quicker than Warhead. With a great lap there from the Trident. And then we also, we just have these two chilling on the wet tyres, both invalidated. I believe heading back to the pit lane. Before they end up running out of fuel. Now 10 minutes left, so we're in the final third of qualifying. Probably going to see a lot of people start coming out on track now on the dry tyres, getting ready to set their actual laps. Now the track's rubbered in, with all these guys going around on either their dries or wets. So we'll have to have a look, wait and see. And start having a look for any drivers coming out on track in the not so distant future. Ohio, no, yeah, hello. 5 Crown in chat, hello 5 Crown. 10 minutes left now. Yeah, pretty much. There you go. Bang on 10 minutes. the final third of qualifying is now upon us. So I'm going to see a lot of action spring to life. I was about to say, there we go, but that's you and I preparing for Alfie to come back into the pits. There you go. As this car bounces past. F2 cars now have active suspension, apparently. There we go, we have an MP at the end of the pit lane. Who is that? That is Stewart, our championship leader, as far as I'm aware. Well, he should still be. I don't think he would have lost the championship lead after last week. Yeah, because he got more points than Loki, because Loki's P2. Off memory. We have a Loki or Tazonic, and Tazonic didn't race, and Loki got less points than Stewart. So yeah, Stewart is still leading the championship. But I believe at the top of the constructors, it is actually Charouse with Tazonic and Loki. Because MP is Stewart and Tado. Carlin, well, let's face it, it's just 5 crown because Brad hasn't bothered showing up ever since round 1. Nicholas has kind of been there most, if not all season for Kramer. Warhead's been there every now and then. P-Bence, I think, has been the only Trident driver anyway. And Alfie has just popped in for you and I every now and then. So the main fight is both of the Charouses, 5 crown, and Stewart, as well as Aaron, but Aaron is not here tonight, sadly. Standings not because... What? Hang on, let me clean my glasses so I can read that. So I'd imagine this trying to say the standings aren't done because there's no stewards report. That's fair enough. I'd still imagine I'm right though with Stewart leading. You got Alfie in chat there as well with a few emojis. Can you time me out from chat for no reason? Sure, get slapped. Well, I can't do it, I'm not a moderator. Stewart now through the first sector on his lap in the beautiful MP car. Still probably, aside from that red UNI, I think MP in general is probably my favourite F2 car. Just, I do like the orange and black. It's quite nice. It's purple first sector for Stewart, according to the game. We'll have to wait until the second sector to see if he is actually purple. But it did look like quite a solid first sector. Nails turn 10. DRS wide open along this back straight that goes on for about 4 weeks. Braking about 100 metres, gets the car chucked in, hits the apex nicely. 1 minute 10.1, I do believe that is slightly quicker than P-Bence. So this could put him to the top of the timing sheets if he keeps this together. Very nice line through the double left, now into the triple right. Lifting off the throttle nicely, getting back on it. Had to get back off it again. Probably could have kept the throttle going there, been a bit braver, but it's still good nonetheless. Second to last corner, using the curb very nicely. Rotates the car in for the last corner, short shift on the power. 45.1, what an amazing lap there from Stewart. That is P1 so far. We have Mr. Tado out on a lap. Nicholas is invalidated. 5 crown is on an out lap at the moment. Still 5 minutes left now. We're going to see a lot of activity in the pit lane. There's Loki has now left the pits as well. So still just waiting for Alfie, Warhead and Tazonic to leave the pits, which I wouldn't imagine would be too far away. And then obviously if P-Bence was to go back out as well, I imagine he would, just to improve, give him a bit more of a buffer to those behind. We have Mr. Tado rounding the last corner now, chucks it in, and it's a 47.3. Good lap there for Mr. Tado, he's quicker than Warhead. at his home Grand Prix. So Warhead, mate, I'm sorry, you're sacked. It'll be Tazonic. Or I think it'll be Tazonic. Next. We'll ride on board, I believe it. Oh no, he's on an outlap, okay. Because this game is stupid, so... as is Alfie, so... it'll be 5 Crown next. So ride on board with him into the last corner. Takes the car through third. Very nicely indeed. Oh, it's getting dark. Spot of rain in the last part of qualifying. Go on, spice it up. Give me some of that rain. Second gear through the first corner for 5. Short shift to third. Very nicely done indeed. Round turn 2. Keeps it flat. Now, let's see the commitment through the S's. Very nice. Down a gear. Then another one. Hangs it around the middle of the track. Very nicely done indeed. 28.3. That was a very good first sector from 5. Drops into third for the quick left right. Short shift to 4. Very nice. And then down into the hairpin. You can brake deceptively late at this corner. 5 pretty much nails that. 100 metres, a little bit twitchy there on exit, but he gets away with it. DRS wide open. Now he has time to go and make a cup of tea before the next braking point. A bit of a swerve there. Maybe he was trying to make a cup of tea. Braking about 100 metres, getting the car rotated. A little bit of a lock-up, but obviously lock-ups have no consequence on the F1 games. 110.2. Slightly off Stewart, I think, in the middle sector. Keeps the car nice for the double apex left, or the double left. And a bit of a snap at the rear through the triple right. Keeps it feathering the throttle, now keeps it flat from halfway, beautifully done. It's probably going to be a little bit quicker than Stewart through there. So how close is this going to get him? It's looking like an identical last couple of corners. Gets the car rotated, third gear, stamps on the power. And it's a 45.0 just ahead of Stewart. It's a great lap there. Tazonic is invalidated, as has Alfie. Mr. Tado is also invalidated, so it'll be Non-Rock Loki next in the other Charouse. Can he get anywhere near? Well, we definitely want to beat his teammate, because his teammate did his time on wet tyres, but he's definitely going to want to get out there and put his car up as high as possible to help Charouse in the championship. 1:45.7. P4, just ahead of P-Bence's Trident. Mr. Tado still sitting up there in P5 so far, with Alfie and Tazonic not improving at the moment. We have Nicholas. I believe he's had 2 invalid laps. Now it's the last 2 corners to keep this last one. I believe this will be his last attempt, so he won't have enough time to pit and then come back out. So this is his last attempt. He's kept it nice, up to the line. 45.5 goes P3 for Nicholas. Next will be, Mr. Tado comes into the pits, so it will be Alfie next, and then it will be closely followed by Tazonic. And then you also have 5 Crown sitting pretty in the middle sector there as well. He'll be next after these 2, and then one of the... yeah, there's still plenty of time for these guys to get around. Yeah, we'll run on board with Alfie now. He will be the next driver to go on a flying lap down into turn 1, braking hard, second gear, chucks the car in, short shift to third, yep, just about. Now through turn number 2, keeps it flat, nice and tight to the apex. Now through the S section, keeps it fully committed down to 5th. Then a little dab of the brake again, down into 4th, very nicely done. It was 28.4 through the first sector. It was, didn't show me Tazonic. But it's very nice, at least from Alfie so far. Braking just after 100 metres. Turning in, very nicely done. Now on to the DRS straight, DRS wide open for the UNI. Sticks, oh, he's trying to get the slipstream here off of Nicholas. It's going to maybe gain him a little bit of time, but it might negate it having to swerve from one side of the track to the other. I have to wait and see. 10-2, that's pretty much matching 5 Crown there. Mr. Tado and P-Bence won't be taking any more part in this qualifying session. They are checkered flagged, so the session is over for them. But anyone that's on a flying lap still can continue with 2 minutes on the clock. Like extra time in football, pretty much. It's a bit tentative through the triple right there from Alfie. But we'll have to wait and see where he goes. Get on board. Alfie goes P3 with a 45.1. Tazonic across the line 46.6. Only P7. Warhead. It won't be Warhead next. It will be 5 Crown will be the next car. He backs out, comes into the pits. Stewart is also backed out of his lap. Nicholas doesn't have any fuel, so it will be Loki next. Loki and Warhead are the last 2 cars on lap, so they are the ones that can improve and see where they can get up this grid. Second to last corner now for Loki. Round he goes. Now through the last corner. A little bit of a lock up, but keeps it pretty much where he wanted it. Up to the line. It's a slight improvement, but doesn't improve his position, so it's just Warhead now. On that 148.1. It's going to definitely want to improve off of the back space on this, or last position on this grid for the feature race. But I imagine those tyres are pretty much shot, and he's not going to improve, so that will be last place for Warhead. As over the line he comes. So that is 9th position for Warhead then. So that is 5 Crown on pole position by the slenderest of margins over Stuart. Alfie as well. The top 3 separated by literally just under a tenth for the top 3. That was very close. Nicholas in 4th, Loki in 5th, P-Bence in 6th, Tazonic in 7th, Mr. Tado in 8th, and Warhead rounding out the grid for the feature race here at COTA. So let's have a look and see what the weather is going to hold in this feature race, and it's raining. Interesting. That is really going to spice up this race, having a bit of wet weather to contend with. So actually it is raining in COTA for the first time whenever I've been around here. So it's always been dry whenever I've done races around here, thankfully, as this track is torture in the dry, let alone the rain. Well, it looks like we're going pretty much straight away. So obviously there'll be no strategy to contend with unless it does dry up later in the race, but everyone will be starting on the wet tyres. No intermediates in Formula 2, although the rain doesn't look that heavy, so we might see a change to dries at some point in this race. Not necessarily from the get-go, because that would be a bit daft given the track being saturated. Right, there we go. Just make sure all the HUD is ready to go. Oh, we have a spin already. That's Alfie round at the first corner. Not getting to grips with these conditions. I'd expect Loki is going to fly up this grid. Loki's always been really good in the rain. So we'll have to wait and see. But there's 16 laps here at COTA. 5 Crown starts on pole position with championship leader Stewart alongside Alfie will start 3rd, Nicholas 4th. It's 5th position for Loki, P-Bence 6th, Tazonic down in 7th as he almost canes it into a wall as well. Mr. Tado in 8th, and Warhead rounding out the grid in P9. Warhead's already going for some overtakes. Fair enough. But so we have a 16-lap feature race. I'm going to guess about, let's say, 12 for the sprint race. That's my estimate for this race weekend. Now just forming up on the grid, or the grid is about to be formed up. I think we've had a spin as well, but that's Tazonic. It's gone for a little pirouette. So forming up on the grid now. I still like the detailing as well on the pit. It's the different teams, so you've still got Renault, AlphaTauri, Racing Point and all that lot, like for the garages, but they've got like the F2 colouring, and in like the garages and that, they're all still the F2 ones. But anyways, here we go for the feature race. 5 red lights here in USA. It's lights out, away we go. It's a tentative start from those up the front. Stewart looks like he's got alongside already. Yes, he has. Down the inside of the first corner, that is a lightning start from Tazonic as well. That's going to be 4 wide into turn 1. Oh, you love to see it. Alfie's getting a bit of a squeeze there though. Oh, that's 5 wide almost. But 5 Crown retakes the lead. Tazonic already up into 3rd. Loki in 4th. P-Vents in 5th. Nicholas down into 6th. A little bit of contact with P-Vents there. We have Alfie as well. P-Vents is going to go round there, is he? Yes, he is. Oh, and that's Warhead round as well. He's got caught up in that. This thing trying to avoid Alfie, who slowed down to avoid P-Vents. And he's just got caught up in that. It's just a bit of an unfortunate racing accident there. But 5 Crown still leads from Stewart 2nd. Tazonic already up into 3rd. It's been a lightning start from the Charouse. Loki in 4th as well. They are really the team to beat. So I already said last week that Stewart's my favourite for the drivers, but I think it's a done deal for Charouse for the constructors. That is the end of the first sector of lap 1. There's still 16 laps to go, and Stewart looks like he's closing back in on 5 here, with a spin there for Warhead at the hairpin. Oh, 5 Crown spun as well. He's just lit up the rears out of turn 12, and round he goes. Oh, that's not ideal for him. Down into 7th. That does mean Stewart takes the lead. Tazonic is up into 2nd already as well. Now, can Tazonic mount a charge on Stewart as quickly as possible? These two are very close in the standings, as well as his teammate Loki's right behind him. Oh, there's a bit of a touch there from the two Charouses. Down the inside of the last corner goes Loki. Does he get the car slowed down just about? And off he goes. That's a bit of a... Is that a position switch there? It could be. Oh, it's just timing. Okay. You're saying that Tazonic is now at the bottom of the field, although he's sitting here in 3rd. But it's all really close up the front now between Stewart, Loki, and Tazonic. Nicholas is just behind these two as well, and then you've got P-Vents, or not P-Vents, sorry, that's Alfie. Not too far away. 5 Crown has already made it back past Mr. Tado, up into 5th position. We're just waiting for the timing to kind of sort itself out. But Stewart still leads, the two Charouses right behind. This is going to be very close to a 5-way battle for the lead here. This is going to be amazing to watch. Well, there's lap 2, although it does say lap 3, because this game is stupid. So I'd imagine maybe next lap is going to sort itself out. Oh, there's a bit of a wayward exit from Stewart there. There's Loki going to be all over the back of him. side by side along the straight, almost. Loki has to go back into the slipstream. Looks like Stewart has a bit more straight line speed. The side by side though. Who's going to brake later? Looks like it's going to be Loki as Stewart tries to hang it around the outside. Just can't though. That's going to open the door for Tazonic to go and have a go. Round the outside. Stewart holds his nerve though. Down the inside. Holds it on the brakes. And Tazonic gets through as well. It's now Charouz 1-2. Loki's gone wide. I think that's contact as well. Yes, it is. That's heavy contact between Stewart and Loki. Alfie's got through as well. So is Nicholas. So it's not a Charouz 1-2 anymore. Nicholas is up into second. Alfie's up into third. Stewart's down into fifth, and Loki down into fourth. Five Crown's not too far away from these guys. I'd imagine the Deltas will sort themselves out now that we've gone on to lap 3. Fastest lap of the race for Tazonic, who is now the race leader. 6 positions gained for the Charouz. P-Benz sets the fastest lap. Nicholas up into second, Alfie in third. Bit of a rev glitch going on though for the UNI. He does have Loki for company though, right on the back of him, with 14 laps to go, or 13 laps to go. No, I was right the first time. It is 14 because it's then plus 1. Ooh, 5 Crown picks up a penalty, so the first track limits penalty goes to 5 Crown, the pole sitter. A torrid start so far to this weekend. Oh, it's a bit wayward there from Loki. Stewart's not close enough to capitalise on it though. Oh, that's really late on the brakes from Loki. Try not to hit them. He doesn't. That could have been really bad. It looked like he just missed his braking point. It was going to go straight into the back of him, but doesn't. Luckily. Loki going for the move. Is he going to be close enough to send it? Yes, he is. Down the inside he goes on the UNI. Alfie has no answer to that. Loki back up into third position. Oh, Nicholas has gone wide. That's going to open the door for Loki. Round the outside of the double left-hander. Surely not. Nicholas has lost it again, and round he goes. Just about holds it, but he's going to lose the position. It is now a Charouz 1-2. Loki down. Loki up the inside of Nicholas, and Nicholas now down into third position. Alfie just behind him. Stewart's there as well. 5 Crown just in the background. They're almost losing it though. But that's good car control there from the Carlin driver to keep it in a straight line. But Tazonic has a 3.5 second lead already over his teammate. Fastest lap of the race for good measure as well. That is a monumental feat so far from Tazonic. P-Benz has retaken the fastest lap off him though. Ooh, Alfie almost into the back of Nicholas. Keeps it out of him though, but he's going to lose a place to Stewart. Is he? No, not quite. Hangs it around the outside. P-Benz on the back of 5 Crown. Try and fill up my water cooler. There we go. Oh. There we go. Keep it nice and cold in here. Ooh, P-Benz almost goes off track. But it keeps it though. This is superb race so far. Mr. Taddo picks up a penalty. I think someone else did as well. Wasn't sure. Was that 5 Crown again? No, it wasn't. It was just Mr. Taddo. It looked like it was 2. But I might have just been imagining things. But at the front, Tazonic leads still by 3.5 seconds. Loki now back up into second, so it is a Charouz 1-2. Nicholas in third, and he's got a bit of a gap to Alfie at the moment, and he is slightly closing in on Loki there. But is he closing in fast enough to really make the most of it? I'll have to wait and see. Oh, he's made a mistake though. That's going to be Alfie right next to him. Round the outside he goes, just can't get that corner, and then Alfie's made a mistake as well. He's had a bit of a slide, keeps it though, but then loses the position again. That is Nicholas back up into third, Stewart back down into Alfie back down into 4th. Stewart's just right behind these two though, as is 5 Crown and P-Benz. Mr. Tallow in a bit of a world of his own at the moment, and Warhead having a torrid afternoon so far, down in 9th position. Obviously everyone that finishes will get points. As Loki's that's the fastest lap. He's taken a huge chunk out of Tazonic there of his lead. It's not. He's lost a second. Has our race leader Tazonic to his teammate as well. This is gonna. Let's ride on board with Stewart. Oh, 5 Crown getting wayward again. P-Benz is right on his gearbox now as well, but then Alfie is right on the gearbox and Nicholas. Nicholas is having massive issues at the moment. Just can't get the power down, it seems, the way he wants to. Alfie looks to the outside, can't quite get the move done though. Nicholas looks like he went a bit deep, did he? No. Just Alfie taking a bit of a shallow line. But Nicholas gets a really good launch out of that hairpin. He just pulled away from Alfie there. Stewart's still on the back of these guys. Tazonic is starting to pull away a little bit more from Loki. Right, there we go. That's that written down and ready. But this Nicholas has made a mistake again. Looks like it's the same corner. He's just not having a comfortable afternoon at that corner. And that's Alfie now back ahead, up into the podium place. We have a spin for 5 Crown again. And that's him down into 7th. P-Benz up into 6th. As Alfie gets a little bit slippery as well. But look at the gap the two Charousses have. That is absolutely huge. Ooh, Alfie's got a really poor run out of the last corner, but then Stewart couldn't capitalise. Nicholas couldn't capitalise on it, as he was kind of stuck behind the rear wing of the UNI. Oh, let's getting a bit tetchy from the rear end of the UNI as well, struggling with these conditions. And P-Benz is also just on the back of Stewart as well, I've just noticed. We have a spin, that's 5 Crown again. He's down 7 positions. Has really been a torrid start to 5 Crown's weekend. Well, if he finishes where he is now, he is going to have reverse or sprint race pole. So all is not lost. Might have had a dodgy start to the feature race in the weekend, being in the feature race. Oh, that's Stewart. Not Stewart. Alfie almost gone as well. Nicholas slide on past. Is Stewart gonna have a go as well? I don't think he's close enough. P-Benz is right on the back of Stewart as well. Is P-Benz gonna have a move? No, he's not. It stays behind him. Alfie goes wide again. That's going to really open the door for Stewart now, but he can't commit to it fully. Because even though he goes out, Alfie goes out wide, he still gets a good launch. All a bit of wiggle for there from Stewart. That's going to allow the door to be open to P-Benz around the outside. Stewart dives it back up the inside. P-Benz has a bit of a correction. Stewart on the curb. It's not going to do his traction any good. Still stays ahead of P-Benz though, but while these two are now squabbling, they're going to start losing time to Alfie and Nicholas, who are still squabbling. That's a bit of contact between P-Benz and Stewart. Tazonic sets the fastest lap of the race. 5 Crown is round again. Ooh, Stewart's had a massive moment. P-Benz has hit the back of him though, because he tried to anticipate the spin, or the traction loss, but went where Stewart corrected to. Ooh, 5 Crown's round again. He's really struggling at the moment. Definitely think he needs to pit, get a new set of wets on. I hope there's a safety car. P-Benz round the outside, turn 2 into turn 3. Surely not. No, Stewart holds his nerve. This is great racing from these two. or even overall so far this weekend. It's been absolutely amazing to watch. This 5 crown round again. He's down now with Warhead. Has he got a punch or something? Nicholas had a big slide, and that's Stuart now, who's not Stuart. That's Alfie, who's got past Nicholas. Stuart's still under threat from P-Benz. Has he got a puncher? No, he's just really struggling with like tyre temps or something. Oh, that's a really torrid so far from... torrid weekend so far from 5, but down the inside Alfie goes on Nicholas, gets the move done. Nicholas hangs it round the outside though. It's great racing from these two. Does Alfie go underneath? No, he doesn't. Nicholas holds him off. Alfie down the inside. He goes. I think he's got the move done, as he no. Nicholas hangs it round the outside of the double left. Nicholas has still got past. That is amazing. Oh, Tazonic is in the pits. That's quite an early start. That's 5 crown backwards as well. P-Benz has got past Stuart as well from what I just said. Now it's going to be battle of the pit crews. Nicholas, Alfie, Stuart and P-Benz all come into the pits. Loki has to go the extra lap because obviously his teammates with Tazonic. So will the overcut work here for Loki? He's going to have clear air. He's just got to get his foot down the best he can to try and jump his teammate. But we'll have a look and see who comes out where in this regard. And away goes Alfie. Is he going to be ahead of Nicholas? Hang on though, because that... Yeah, no he's not. So that's P-Benz. Why does it say that I'm on board with Alfie, but then I look back and then it's P-Benz. 5 crown has got a penalty for speeding in the pits and retires. So it's his race over. There will be no points for him. Mr. Taddo picks up the penalty. No, Mr. Taddo. But Nicholas has got back past Alfie then in that pit stop phase, or has kept the position in front of Alfie. Should I say? The main thing is going to be where does Tazonic come out in retrospect to his teammate. Wait and see. So we're right on board with Tazonic for now. Just monitor that gap though between Alfie and Nicholas. Whereabouts are the two Charusas going to come out together? Because if Tazonic doesn't have a good lap here, out lap, and Loki has a really good in lap, Loki could jump his teammate. The gap does look like it's come down. It's into the pits comes Loki. I'll have to wait and see where Loki comes out. Did the extra lap help or damage him? So he'll have 1 lap fresher tyres. But in the wet, that's not necessarily a good thing, because they take a bit longer to get up to temperature. Tazonic has jumped his teammate, or has retained the lead, but has he gained anything? It's 2.5 seconds at the moment. Mr. Taddo has pit as well. It's about 3 seconds between the Charusas now, so I think it's stayed roughly the same. Loki's obviously going to take a lap to get up to speed, because the new tyres still need a little bit of time to rubber in and heat up. But Tazonic retains the lead. Oh, a bit of a moment there for Loki. Right on board with Alfie. Finally the rev glitch has fixed itself. Thank goodness for that. Loki picks up a penalty. That's going to be huge for this race. Not going to bother him too much about Nicholas, but if he then catches and passes his teammate, he's then got to gain 3 seconds on him. But I'd imagine Tazonic will now see that penalty that his teammate has, and he'll react to it in just slowing down, backing off that a little bit. He doesn't have to risk a penalty because he can still afford to get passed by his teammate as long as he doesn't then lose 3 seconds. But Alfie within 4 and a bit tenths of Nicholas now. Ooh, right on the back of him in the braking zone. Looking for a way past, just cannot find it at the moment. Nicholas getting a little bit wayward though. Alfie holds his position for now. Still about 4/10 of a second. Is Alfie going to be able to make a move through here? No, he's not close enough, and Nicholas is starting to pull away. So Nicholas just has the better drive through there. Tazonic sets the fastest lap of a 2-minute 1.6. Alfie is right on the back though. Nicholas a bit wayward out of the last corner though. Nicholas has got a good exit. Alfie hasn't. That's going to really open up the door. Pete Bence is going to be there as well. Pete Bence is now within a second of Alfie. Obviously it doesn't mean anything in wet. There's no DRS in wet weather conditions. The same as Formula 1. So far, doesn't look like Alfie looks like he's kind of closing in some of the corners and traction zones, but he's losing it on the some other traction zones and then the straights. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle from both drivers there, as Loki has lost a huge chunk of time to his teammate, and he's actually losing a fair bit of time to Nicholas and Alfie. Maybe he's made a mistake somewhere. As long as Nicholas and Alfie don't get within 3/10 of Loki, he'll keep P2. But Alfie now, 3/10 is the gap. Is he close enough to go for a lunge? Yes, he's going to definitely give it a go. Nicholas sees it coming though. Ooh, taps the rear end of the UNI, but that is Alfie up into third. He's licked the stamp and sent it with the UNI Virtuosi driver. And that is Nicholas down into fourth. P. Bence is there as well. Ooh, a bit of a wiggle there from Nicholas. Warhead picks up a penalty now. He's down in 8th place, about a minute behind Mr. Tado. But he will be on the pole for sprint race. Oh, that's wide from Nicholas at the second to last corner there. That's going to really open up the door for P. Bence. He's going to have a look down the inside. No. Tries to get good traction though. Really revving the car, and you can hear the wheel spin. Nicholas defends to the inside. P. Bence looks to the outside. Brakes later. Around the outside he goes. It's a spin, I believe, from Mr. Tado. P. Bence around the outside of turn 1. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. It was a great move there from P. Bence. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Can P. Bence then catch Alfie, or will Alfie get within... Alfie's got to gain 3.8 seconds and then he can get P2. But Loki is really handy in wet weather conditions. Oh, Nicholas has almost lost it. Keeps it going though. Oh, he's lost a fair bit of momentum now, and he's lost 2 positions in the space of about a lap and a half. But all is not lost yet, as P. Bence is within half a second of Alfie, so he could be going for a move soon. Right on the back now of P3, there's almost a podium for P. Bence. Oh, Alfie's gone wide. That's going to open up the door for P-Benz. Tazonic sets the fastest lap yet again. 2 minute 1.4. P-Benz looks to the inside of the last corner. Is Alfie going to hang it around the outside? They both brake really late. P-Benz down the inside, gets the move done. Up into third. It's a great move from P-Benz there. That's Alfie down into fourth now, but he's going to come back with slipstream. Is he going to go for a lunge into T1? Yes, he is. Brakes late. Might have overshot the corner slightly though. P-Benz goes for the over and under. Gets the move done round the outside, side by side through turn 2. Alfie loses the rear, and that opens the door for P-Benz again, who retakes P3. And Alfie picks up a penalty. That is huge. That could lose him a place to Nicholas. Alfie has really got to hope now that P-Benz and Nicholas both get penalties to keep this podium fight going. Otherwise, he is going to be settling for 5th position. That is absolutely huge with Alfie getting a penalty. Though all the while these three fight, this is really going to give a hand in Loki's ambitions to keep P2. About 7 seconds clear of these three. So he can still afford to lose 4 seconds, or that's the most he can afford to lose, is 4 seconds. Well, that's a bit of a slide there from Alfie. Doesn't look comfortable on the brakes. Tyres are probably starting to wear a bit more, getting a bit slidey, a bit impatient on the brakes and throttle, pushing a bit too much. But Nicholas is right on the back of him now. 6/10, and P-Benz has pulled away massively. Nicholas picks up a penalty now, so that's going to level out the playing field for these two, but P-Benz doesn't have a penalty, and he's pulling away from these two. So Nicholas, now if he wants 4th, has to do it on track. Loki sets the fastest lap of the race. Nicholas, not Nicholas, oh no! Alfie went round at the last corner and just collected Nicholas. That is really sad to see, and Stewart's just going to say, thank you very much lads, I'm here. He's got past Alfie there, and now he's going to try and get past Nicholas, and this will be for 4th place. Although he doesn't even need to pass him. Stewart doesn't have a penalty, Nicholas does. And Nicholas does also have front wing damage. That was just a bit of an unfortunate incident there. I wouldn't say anyone's at fault. It's just one of those things that sadly happened. But Tazonic out at the front, 10 seconds ahead. Mr. Tado picks up a penalty. 10-second lead for Tazonic. He has been the man on the biggest of missions today. He has got a statement of intent to keep his championship alive going into the last 5 races, being obviously the sprint race of this weekend, and then the entirety of the next 2. Nicholas gets all kinds of out of shape. That's going to really open the door for Stewart now. Down the inside of turn 10. Can't quite get the move done though. Or can he? Down the inside he goes. Nicholas hangs it around the outside, just there's more traction on the racing line because there's less standing water. And Alfie's on the back of him as well. Alfie's going to try and retake 5th, but it won't matter unless Stewart picks up a penalty. Down the inside the UNI goes. The MP. Nicholas gets a bit of a snap as well, and again he's almost gone. He's also lost a position to these two now as well. Stewart round the outside of the Prema. Can't get it done though, so he has to go back down into 6th position as Alfie slots himself back up into 4th, which will become they will get bumped down behind Stewart, as Stewart doesn't have a penalty unless he picks one up in these last 3 laps of the race. Tazonic is running away with this at the moment, 11 seconds now over his teammate. P-Benz is 7 seconds behind Loki. He has to gain 4 seconds, but that's a rate about 2 seconds a lap now, which is going to look increasingly hard unless Loki makes a mistake. But Nicholas back on Alfie, although with that front wing damage it's not going to deter him to keep trying to get ahead of Alfie on track. Stewart hangs it He's still where he needs to be, just as long as he doesn't pick up a penalty. He's being very cheeky with the track limits at the moment. He's really pushing his luck. Just don't push too hard, sunshine, and it won't come back to bite you in the arse. Stewart is there though. He's still on the back of them. It's just can he... Well, he's just got to keep within... Well, he's actually starting to lose a fair amount of time to these things. He's going to leader into them. Well, he's 2 seconds behind Nicholas, and Nicholas is 1 second behind Alfie, so he could lose P4 here. So he could maybe only be settling for 5th at the moment, unless Alfie loses a bit more time and then Nicholas is able to capitalise on that by starting to battle with him. But Nicholas is getting really out of shape. Tazonek 2 minutes, 0.9 now. Fastest lap of the race. Again for the Charouse driver. Stewart's being very conservative at the moment. But, Nicholas is under a second now. Ooh, just goes wide with that front wing damage. It's really starting to hurt him in this last portion of the lap. Being careful on the power as well. Oh, he's lost it and lost more front wing. He's lost it again down the straight. That's going to get Stewart past him. Yes, it is. Just stays offline to basically let Stewart go. Stewart is half a second. Right, okay, it's fluctuating. Stewart's 3 seconds behind Alfie. If he gains another, 2/10 of a second at the moment, he can then repass and be P4. P-Benz is really on a charge as well, 5.1. If he gets that down by another 2.1 seconds in the next 2 laps, that would be P2 for P-Benz. Loki's really going to want to get a wiggle on to keep his second position and keep it a 1-2 for Charouse. But that Trident is going to be in his back pocket come the last lap of this race. So right on board with the race leader Tazonek, who once he took the lead didn't look back. Nicholas picks up another penalty. Not a lot he can do with that front wing damage now. But Tazonek will start the last lap now. Almost another fastest lap, slightly off his PB. Pretty much matches it, to be fair, so it's consistency for you. But this man has driven faultlessly. He looks like he's set to pick up the race win here in USA. But there's still a fair bit of time left. Anything can still happen. So it's never set in stone until you cross that finish line. P-Benz 3.6 now. That gap got down to a moment ago. He is really closing in on Loki here. So this could be very close at the end of the race between Loki and P-Benz. And also Stewart is now within the time frame of Alfie. We'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. But there's only about 2 sectors left of the race. It's been quite a long one due to the rain, but it has not disappointed. This has been an absolutely amazing race to watch so far. An amazing race weekend, and there's still one more race to savour after this one, being the sprint. But we're just riding on board with Tazonek now. He's going a little bit faster. He's trying to get the fastest lap as well on the last lap. Mr. Tado picks up another penalty. Shouldn't affect him too much. He's got 35 seconds to Warhead. But Warhead will start this the sprint race on pole. So a bit of a code red there. I thought Tazonic had binned it because it wasn't showing up on the camera. But then the F2 cars are slower. But round the last corner for Tazonic now to cross the line. And it sets fastest lap as well to win the sprint race. But here's what we're going to be seeing. Loki versus P-Bence. Is P-Bence going to be able to gain half a second in the last sector alone? Is looking increasingly unlikely. He could be very close to it though. 3.3. He's 3/10 off. That is a good effort. It's a 1-2 for Charouz. P-Bence comes home third. What about Stewart? It looks like he's lost a lot of time to Alfie there. So unless Alfie could maybe lose it out of the last corner. Oh no, he backs right off. So it means Alfie's going to lose P4 to Stewart. So Stewart comes home fourth. Alfie, he stops. I think he's going to let Nicholas go. Although Nicholas does have the extra penalty. I think he's going to wait, is he? He might do. Yeah, he does. That's sportsmanlike from Alfie there. He made the mistake. Just caught Nicholas in it. It wasn't either of their faults. It just happened, sadly. Mr. Tado is the only car left to finish now. He's just coming home. He's run out of fuel. And there we go. That is the feature race over and done with. That has been really entertaining to watch. And there's still one more race after it. Driver of the day is Tazonic doing a little bit of yoga. He has harnessed his chi, and he has absolutely dominated the feature race here. And that is a race win, but still a 1-2 for Charouz. Really a statement of intent from both Tazonic to get himself back into this title fight, and Charouz pretty much cementing their place at the top. And then P-Bence getting that podium at the very end. It's very nice there to see. Alfie in chat, nice guy Alfie. You're referring to yourself in the third person, are you? But there we go. That is your race results for the feature race. Pretty much everyone getting points apart from 5 who DNF'd. The top 8 will obviously be inverted, so Warhead will be on pole, then Mr. Tado, Alfie, Nicholas, Stewart, P-Bence, Loki, Tazonic. P-Bence is left, so he did say he was only doing the feature. Well, we have a dry sprint race, so that's going to spice things up quite a bit. I think I have time to quickly grab a chocolate bar. There we go. I'll get myself a white Kit Kat. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Ooh. There we go. Right. Oh. Hang on, I'll have to be quick eating this. We go. Just getting a bit refreshed. Having a quick drink and then having a Kit Kat. I am much better now. So 11 laps await us now for the sprint race. Here in USA we have Warhead on pole, Mr. Tado second, Stewart third, Nicholas fourth, who's currently battling 5 Crown. Fair enough. Stewart in fifth, P-Vents in sixth, although P-Vents has left. So pretty much everyone above P-Vents has kind of been bumped up a position. Non-Ripe Loki 7th, Tazonic in 8th, and 5 Crown in 9th position, who I believe has just made a bit of contact with Nicholas, and that's why they've been reset to the grid. But here we are then. Just awaiting the last couple of cars now. Being the two... Oh, well, it's just Tazonic actually, and then P-Bentz's AI. Right, we're on... Here we go then. 5 red lights, the second race of the evening. Lights out and away we go. That was very quick. It's a good start from Mr. Tado and Warhead there. It's an even better start from P-Bentz's AI. He's already up to third. What geezer? That's 4 wide, is it? It looks 4 wide. That's Loki up into third already. No, that's someone round. That's Nicholas. Round. Tazonic is kind of just... yeah, he's kept out of that as well. I thought he'd got caught up in that. Or has he? Has he got front wing damage? Doesn't look like it. No, okay, it was hidden by the tyre because of my camera angle. Tazonic then just playing it safe on the first couple of corners. Unlike his teammate, he's already up into third. 5 Crown in 6th position. Alfie down 2. Not the best to start. Stewart is down 1 by the looks of it. Or no, up 1, sorry. So Alfie looks down the inside of Stewart. Gets the move done in up into 4th place for the UNI. And he's already on the hunt. Going against Loki here. Down the inside of turn 11. Sends it to the inside. That's a huge lock up there from Loki. Looks like 5 Crown tried to have a go as well. He tries to have a go at Stewart there around the outside. Stewart hangs it down the inside though. Loki defends brilliantly as well from Alfie. Down the inside. Oh, that's a huge moment there for 5. I think he's either tapped someone or he's just locked his rears and round he goes. It's been a horrid weekend for 5 Crown there. Obviously it is currently P7 with P. Benson's AI just sitting there chilling. But, oh, that's Alfie down the inside of Loki at the last corner. Warhead's at the fastest lap of the race. Closely followed by Mr. Taddo though. So Mr. Taddo is still P2, lads. Let's go. I don't know why it's DRS enabled. It's only the end of the first lap, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's Loki and Alfie side by side. Nicholas picks up a penalty for speeding in the pits and retires. Alfie's got back past Loki then. Tazonic's on the back of Stewart. And then Loki as well is sitting there. Tazonic's really... all 5 crowns retired as well. That's at the first corner. Loki's gone! Loki is gone and in the wall. Don't think he's got any damage. No. But he's just lost a lot of time. Tazonic gets past Stewart. 5 crowners left. And that's a safety car. That is huge for this race. That's going to kind of neutralise it a bit. I don't know if anyone will pit. There'll probably be no point. Although it just depends on how long the safety car lasts. If it lasts 3 laps, it takes you to lap 6 of 11. You could maybe be cheeky. If you're cautious, you could maybe go onto a set of softs or super softs, but there'd be literally no point. You might as well just stay on your mediums. We'll have to wait and see what everyone does, but first time in a while we've had a safety car in Formula 2. I can't actually remember the last time we did because we didn't have one last week. Or I don't think we had one at Canada either. So it's been a long time since we last had a safety car. We have Alfie into the pits, so maybe he's going for the strat. So is Tazonic. That's it, I think. So I'll have to wait and see what tyres these guys go on to. Just remember though, lads, all the while this safety car's out, this means Mr. Taddo is sitting in P2 for longer. Please, Mr. Taddo needs a podium. He really does. Please, I beg. That is super softs going on for Tazonic, Alfie, and I believe Loki as well. Yep, super softs for all 3 of them. This is going to be interesting to see. That's lap 3 of 11. As long as this safety car lasts as long as it needs to for that to work, that is entirely possible. That these guys can go to the end on super softs. Or maybe there's no degradation around here and I'm just an idiot, but I don't know, you know, I don't really race around this circuit or in these cars, so obviously the drivers are going to know more than I do. But this will be really good to see. You can just see as well that Alfie's being really cautious, as is Tazonic. There's just not wanting to take any life out of these tyres to really make them last, to do what they want to do properly. But to be fair, I would have waited for this lap, to be fair. Let the safety car chill for a lap and then pit, because then you have an extra lap on the super softs. I'll have to wait and see if this gamble pays off for those 3. I'd imagine it will initially, but then it's just being careful of those tyres. As long as they don't drop off too badly, they should be fine. But so far, we have Warhead leading. Oh, I've dropped my piece of paper. That's not good. Warhead leads. Mr. Taddo in 2nd. Stewart 3rd. P. Benson's AI is 4th. Alfie is 5th. Tazonic is 6th. And Loki is 7th. The 2 people out of the race, 5 Crown and Nicholas. Technically P. Benz as well, if you count his AI being out of the race. Then we'll have to look, wait and see what's going to happen. Like 4 of 11, so we have 1 more lap behind the safety car at least, maybe 1 more as well, who knows. But I really am interested to see what happens with those super soft runners being the two Charuses and Alfie. Because they could catapult themselves up initially, but then if they get punches or something, that is really going to play dividends later on. That's going to undo all their hard work they're about to do on those super softs. So I would have either pit for a fresh set of mediums or not pit at all. But we'll have to wait and see. This is really going to be a spicy race, and a spicy weekend overall. So we'll have a look and see. But lap 4 of 11. There's only 7 laps left. Or, yeah, 8 laps left, sorry, technically. Will the super softs go 8 laps? That is the question. I know 2 of them are under safety car. But then once we actually get back racing, there's still either 6 or 7 laps, which is a lot. There we go, safety car in this lap. This is going to be very nip and tuck for those 3 at the bottom. But we'll have to wait and see. Really back. Oh, there we go. So he's not backing away from the safety car all that much. Warhead just needs to buy a bit of a gap. And wait for that safety car to come in, which will be his opportunity to bolt. I think there he goes. Although Mr. Tado has kept with him. Run on board with Tado for a little bit. Go on, Tado, take the lead. Lunge. Lunge him. Alfie's already got past P-Bence's AI, as has Tazonic. So they're going to really be on a charge at the beginning of their stint. Warhead leads from Tado, from Stewart, Alfie. He's already really closing up to Stewart, as is Tazonic. Loki as well is there. Yeah, P-Bence's AI has been relegated down into 7th. But at the front it is still Warhead, who's already broken the DRS to Tado. Tado's got his teammate as well. Well, they're going to be team orders at MP. Obviously Stewart is the championship leader and he's in the title fight big time. So it's in really Tado's interest and the team's interest to let Stewart go and then kind of hold up these 3 on their super softs. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but Tado's got quite a good run out of turn 10 going into turn 11, so I don't think he's going to have to worry about his teammate making a move as of yet. But is Alfie going to go for a move on Stewart? Yes, he is, down the inside of turn 11. Gets the car slowed down nicely. There's a really good move there. And holds his position. Is he also going to go for a move on Mr. Tado? Ooh, Tado goes off track a little bit there around the outside of the double left. Tado holds his line on the inside. Alfie around the outside, a little bit of contact. Down the inside of the triple apex right. And that's Alfie up into 2nd. Mr. Tado is still on the podium though, as Stewart is passed by Tazonic there. Knows he's on the better tyre compound, doesn't put up too much of a fight. And now Tazonic just behind Mr. Tado now. Warhead sets the fastest lap, but is immediately usurped by Alfie. Tazonic on Tado now. Is he going to go for a move into T1? No, he's not quite close enough. Although Mr. Tado is going to outbrake himself, so is Tazonic going to get a better run at a T1? Not quite. But he comes back at him though. Turn 2, turn 3, no. Doesn't have the run. This is going to lose him time to Alfie. As Tado is really holding on for dear life at the moment. As Alfie is right on the back of Warhead as well. To the inside he goes. Down the inside for the race lead. And he's through. Warhead is now down into 2nd. Mr. Tado is still hanging on to 3rd. Is he going to lose it here though? Is Taz going to go for the lunge? No, not quite. Just cannot find a way past at the moment, and this is kind of hurting his chances on these tyres. So he's going to want to catch up to Alfie. Tado goes wide. Tazonic swoops on through, but Tado hangs on around the outside. Now the triple. This should show. Oh, Tado's got a penalty. That should have been where the tyre difference comes in, but not quite. Oh, Tazonic right on the back of him. He's going to lunge down the inside of the last corner. No, that's a huge lock up though. Alfie sets the fastest lap of the race. DRS is now enabled. Lap 7 of 11. Taz down the inside of T1. Here we go. Gets the move done. Up into third. Tado doesn't have an answer. So Tazonic can now go after Warhead, who's doing a bit seconds ahead of him, and then Alfie, who's 2 seconds ahead of Warhead. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with their tyres, because they could go off near the later stages of this race. So the gamble could pay off for now, but it's always there to come and bite you in the anus later. So you could see, realistically, that Warhead, Tado and Stewart have made the better decision, but only time will tell. Tado looks like he gets out of the way. Warhead picks up a penalty, and Tado lets his teammate through by the looks of it. Doesn't put up too much of a fight. He's going to put up a fight with Loki though. Loki looks to the outside. Tado brakes a bit earlier. Ooh, a little bit of contact, but neither of them go round, so it's fine. And that is Loki up into 5th, Tado down now into 6th position. It's fine, there's always a possibility that 3 people in front of you can blow up on their super soft tyres. Could you imagine the scenes? All 3 of them get punches on the last lap, and Mr. Tado gets a podium. I actually beg. Alfie sets the fastest lap of the race. Tazonic is also just on the back of Warhead now as well. The Tado has got an amazing run on Loki here. Around the outside of turn 1. No, Alfie, not Alfie. Loki holds it on the brakes. Mr. Tado goes for the over and under. A little bit of contact. Can't quite get the move done though. Tazonic is still hunting down Warhead, but he has got a 4-second gap to the race leader now. Mr. Tado picks up yet another penalty. It's fine, he can pick up as many as he likes, he's just got to wait for those punches. Oh, Tazonic picks up a penalty. That's going to be huge later on in this race. Oh, it's late on the brakes. Close to contact between these two there. Very touchy. To hold my breath there a little bit. Tazonic has got DRS now. Not quite close enough to make the move. But all the while he's stuck behind Warhead. Alfie is getting away from him. Mr. Tado as well, it looks like he's coming back at Loki. Go on, Tado. You can see it there, look. You can see the wear pattern already on those super softs, and it's lap 9. They've got 3 laps left. Yeah, lap 9, lap 10, lap 11. There's 3 laps left to go in this race, but those tyres are going to be screaming by the end of it. Alfie does have a massive gap over these two though, so he could have done enough, but it's just, will those tyres hang on till the end of the race? Only time's going to tell. Tazonic just cannot find the way past Warhead at the moment. What about Loki as well? His tyres look like they're going off. So is this where we're going to see the gamble unravel? 3 laps to go here in the Sprint Racer USA. At the moment, that gap is staying about 6 seconds between Alfie and Warhead. Although, is Tazonic going to have a good run here? No, Warhead has the better exit. Stewart's coming back into this as well because his tyres are fine. Tazonic now to the inside with the DRS. Looks like he's got the move done as he... Warhead tries to cut underneath. Here we go, around the outside. Tazonic tries to answer with late on the brakes. Bit of wall banging. Oh, that's close to contact. And Warhead covers off the inside. Tazonic then has to back out. Definitely thought about that move. This is going to be really hurting Tazonic's tyres. Still right on the back of him though. Mr. Tado's on the back of Loki as well. Can't quite go for the move at the last corner. Just try and get the good launch. Just can't. The tyres are going really hard now. That 10 of 11. 2 laps to go. Tazonic down the inside at the first corner on Warhead. Gets the move done as he know he goes too deep. And that's Warhead going to be round the back round. Stewart is going to jump up to second at this rate. And Mr. Tado has got past Loki. Go on, Mr. Tado. I know he's got 6 seconds of penalties and everything, but mate, oh, he's look at him. Mr. Tado is in P5. No, he's got another penalty. No. It's fine, just hold on for those punches, Tado. They're coming, don't worry. I'll start putting like pins on the track or something. I'll start throwing them out of the commentary box onto the track. Tazonic down the inside of Warhead. Warhead kind of cuts the corner there to get a good run. He's going to get the squeeze from Tazonic. And Taz looks like he's got the move done as he's got DRS. And it looks like he's got past. Yes, he has. Up into second place for Tazonic there. Stewart is right on the back of these two though, and he could jump up to second. Loki's tyres are absolutely shot. He's lost so much time to Tado. Warhead's going to come back round at Tazonic here. I think the only one that's really made the most of this is Alfie, but then his tyres look like they're in quite bad condition as well. We're about to approach now. We're approaching the final lap of the sprint race. And Warhead is still on the back of Tazonic. Stewart is on the back of both of them. And Mr. Tado is pulling away from Loki. Oh, lads, come on. Just punchers, please. Top 2, get punchers. Loki, get a puncher. Mr. Tado gets a podium. Think about it that way. You're a small price to pay for Tado podium. But Warhead is right on the back of Tazonic now. Going into turn 2, the last lap is now here. Tazonic's tyres are going to be shot to pieces. Stewart's right on the back of these two now as well. Loki is losing time hand over fist here to Tado. Ooh, he's got a bit off. No, Tado, stop track extending please. I can't handle it. I'm literally just waiting to see one of them backwards because they got like a rear puncher. Oh, Warhead picks up another penalty. That's really going to cost him now. Those tyres look absolutely shredded on Tazonic's car. Stewart is here as well. They've all got DRS on him. Warhead and Stewart, is he close enough for the move? No, he's not. He's going to get really close under the braking though. Looks to the outside, going into the final sector of the race. Alfie looks like he's fine, no punches for him. Warhead though, round the outside into the double left, is he? Surely not. Tazonic covers him off nicely, but then Warhead goes for the alley-oop. Round the outside of the triple, right-hander. Taz covers him off yet again. Sublime defending. And Stewart is just sitting there chilling. Warhead looks for the lunge. Alfie wins the sprint race. Tazonic though into the last corner now. He's just gonna hold off. Oh, there's contact though. It's funny because they crossed the line. It's a good thing that line comes up this really quickly. But Stewart up into second, Taz in third, Warhead fourth, Mr. Tallow in fifth. I think he's just been demoted to sixth though. Yes, he has. That means Loki gets fifth. Ah, that was an amazing end. Tazonic again, yogering his way to driver of the day. So hang on, let's write this down. Alfie, Stuart, Tazunic, and then we'll just get the I'll let the podium do its thing. Oh, it's a Brendan Lee. Nah, skip. Sorry, no podium for you. No podium for Brendan Lee here. No finger wagging allowed. Okay, so it's Tazonic, Alfie, and Loki, the three I need to invite. So Taz, Alfie, Loki. Let's start getting them in. I have to call the race director and do it this way, don't I? Invite to party. Tazonic, invite to party. Loki, invite to party. Oh, it's the three people that went onto the Super Softs as well. Alright, there's one. There's two. Now we just need Loki.
Broken mic,
he's here. Oh, he won't. Okay. Why couldn't you three get punches? Because then Mr. Tallow could have had a podium.
I needed.
You know how amazing that would have been.
I was 84% on the final corner.
Oh god. I was wondering why, because I just saw us losing so much time. I don't want you to get a puncher,
I couldn't get away from
but
Warhead
I do because Tado podium.
My tyres were really bad, so I couldn't get any traction out of the corners. So Warhead was just sticking with me.
Oh, that was really good to watch. Right, as it's only going to be you two then. So overall, the weekend, Tazonic with the most points, then Alfie, and then Loki. We'll start with Alfie. Do it in the reverse way, as we always do. Why is it Britain Short next? Right, well, yeah, starting with Alfie. Bit of a quiet feature race. Obviously, the slight contact between you and Nicholas kind of set the tone for the feature. We still came away with like a P5, I believe it was, in the feature, but then made up for it in the sprint with that strategy call to switch to the super soft tyres and made it work. Got through the traffic as quickly as possible to make the strategy work. You did it perfectly, and you come away second overall of the weekend and a race win in the sprint race. So, thoughts from your side?
Nothing really to say for the feature race other than it sucked. Yeah, I can't really add anything to that, what you said. But sprint race, I was saying in the big party we were in that nobody pit, keep it simple. And then Taz said he was going to pit, so I said, alright, I'll pit. And then I managed to pull it off and Taz didn't, so.
Yeah, congratulations. Just yeah, making that strategy count. It did look, from my point of view anyway, it was going to be, you've got to get through within like 2 or 3 laps of that safety car coming in. You've got 2 laps to get through the traffic, and you managed to do it perfectly. It's just a shame couldn't see the other two do that, but well done, made that work to absolute perfection. And you came away with the 15 points, or the 17 points. You got fastest lap as well. So yeah, 17 points for the sprint race, but you still got second overall due to your 10 from the feature. So well done to you. And then first overall, that's only interviewing two, it's Tazonic. Absolute masterclass in the feature race. Just once took the lead, never looked back, won by about 15 seconds over the rest of the field. And then the sprint race, just that strategy didn't work out the way it did for Alfie, but he still got a podium out of it, and it still was incredibly entertaining for me to watch. So still congratulations for that, and just give us a bit of an overview of your weekend.
If I need that will help. Yeah, thanks, Monge. good job to Alfie as well and Loki, even though he can't talk on their podiums or and etc. they got. Yeah, feature race. I like the rain. I've always liked the rain. So as soon as I got in front, really, I was just pumping in the laps. Pumping the laps at the end, and managed to get the win. Obviously, sprint race a lot more entertaining because it was for you as well probably. Yeah, I tried to do what Alfie did and put on the super softs. I didn't really know the wear on it too much. I didn't really look into it. So obviously, I haven't raced F2 in a good few weeks. I just haven't been able to make it. So it's the first time back to F2 in a good 3 weeks, I think. 3 weeks a month. It's been a little while. But yeah, just trying to get through the field really. Stewart, Taddo, and Moorhead they all did really good at defending. To be fair, they were trying their best. So, but yeah, the fight with Warhead was really good fun. He made me work for it, and he knew full well that my tyres were gone by that point. It's a shame he got that 3-second penalty because he would have, well, he probably would have got me because he would have had a lot more incentive to do it. But yeah, I've already spun it on the final corner. I'm lucky he had that extra penalty because he would have won it because I spun it. I didn't get a puncture though. Still 85% at the end, so I was very happy about that. I don't think one more lap would have done it. So but yeah, it was a good weekend overall, and it's good to be back.
Yeah, congratulations, and it was quite lucky on that point where you said the spun out of the last corner. It's quite lucky the line is where it is at USA. If it was further forward, like it was when the track was first put back on the calendar, that would have ended in absolute tears for you and Warhead.
Exactly, Taddo might have got a podium.
Yeah, still really good racing from you. It was really enjoyable to watch. It's just a massive congratulations again. Top of the weekend, 1 and 3 for Charouz overall in the weekend as well. So it's going to really cement your place at the top of the constructors. Standings haven't been updated yet, so I can't exactly see where everyone is. But I believe Stewart, I think, still leads.
I'll shout at 5 for that.
Most of them aware. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think Stewart still leads, and I think Charouz definitely lead the constructors, but I don't know if you've won it yet. But we'll have to wait and see once the standings get updated. But yeah, congratulations to the top 3 of the weekend, being Terzonic, Alfie and Loki, even though Alfie's disappeared and Loki couldn't make it. We'll be back next week for the penultimate rounds at not Malaysia. I really wish it was Malaysia.
Oh, God.
Mexico. That's the one. So I've been playing too much Assetto Corsa. But yeah, we'll be back for Mexico, and then after that is Brazil for the last race weekend of Formula 2. So 2 weeks left, all still to play for. In the drivers, constructors looks pretty much sealed by Charouz, but still really looking forward to seeing what the rest of this championship holds. So we will see you next week.